Dear students, please pause the video and try this question. You can test your skills before we reveal the answer. So we have to find which of the statements are correct. In the first statement, it is said that G20 was originally established as a platform for finance ministers and central bank governors to discuss economic and financial issues. So even a beginner student will be knowing that G20 was basically established to discuss financial and economic issues. So the first intuition is that the statement might be true. Now when we look at the first part of the question, a doubt may arise. Why? Because in G20 meetings, we usually see head of states. But in the question, the crucial words are originally established. So when we read that together, G20 was originally established to discuss financial issues. Just think rationally. When an economic forum was established, in the beginning, who would be the most eligible representatives from a country to discuss economic and financial issues? It will most probably be finance ministers and central bank governors. So that gives more validity to our initial presumption that this might be true. Next, if the student has read a bit and knows that G20 was established in the wake of Asian financial crisis, it again solidifies our intuition. Why? Because a crisis is going on in Asian region, financial crisis. At that time, again, finance ministers and central bank governors would be more competent to discuss about the financial issues. If this thought comes into the mind, again solidifies our initial presumption that the statement will be true. So we can mark B wrong and D wrong, and this will help our mind to focus on the rest of the option. Now the next statement says about digital public infrastructure. Even if a student doesn't know anything about digital public infrastructure, we must try to break down the words and find the literal meaning of the given words. So digital infrastructure for public. And it is said that it is one of India's G20 priority. So when we think which are the digital infrastructures existing in India for the public use, when we think what all things government is promoting, obviously Aadhaar and UPI will come to our mind. And we know that government is promoting UPI in other countries also. Many other countries are now adopting UPI or UPI's models in their countries. So in this background, when India is hosting an international summit, won't India be promoting its digital public infrastructure? That increases the chances for this statement to be true. Second, keywords, one-off. One-off is a very broad keyword used in this statement, and it is talking about digital infrastructure. When India is hosting an international summit, won't India be promoting its flagship programs? Especially since 2015, India is promoting Digital India Mission. Won't India be promoting its digital flagship programs? Obviously, our chances are high. So again, it increases the chances for this statement to be true. Added to this, one-off is a very broad term, and there is no reason that India's digital priorities would have been included in this international summit hosted by India. Because of that one-off, again, the chances for this statement to be true becomes more. As a result, you must mark C. Now coming to the theory part, you can also please share your thought process in the comment section, how you approach this question, because it might help someone else also who is preparing. Now, coming to the theory part, G20 was founded in 1999 as an informal forum in response to Asian financial crisis. Now, in 2008, what happened? Global financial crisis happened. Now it is not a regional thing. As a result, G20 became a leader summit. So this global crisis required intervention of the head of states. So that is why now we see head of states in G20. And G20 does not have a permanent secretariat or staff. That is why presidency rotates annually among the members. So G20 is having a troika to ensure continuity of G20's functioning. Troika comprises of the immediate past host, the current host, and the next host countries. Now coming to the mandate and purpose of G20, we know that G20 is mainly focusing on financial and economic issues. So economic growth, trade and investment, financial market, everything related to finance and economy will obviously there in mandate. Nothing to by heart here. But climate change and sustainable development are also core mandates of G20, and G20 has a lot of programs focusing on mitigating climate change and sustainable development. This is very important for future prelims exams because it will come in options. Or the programs, climate change mitigation programs or sustainable development programs of G20 can come in options. So simply don't rule out G20 thinking that it focuses only on economy. Now coming to the membership, G20 has 19 countries and 2 regional blocs, African Union and European Union. So 21 parties are members of G20. And G20 represents 85% of global GDP and 75% of global trade. Now to remember the countries are very, very important. It was asked in PYQ. To remember it easily, I had classified it into different blocks. First block is G7. We would have already studied which are the G7 countries, which are developed economies, US, UK, France, Germany, then Canada, Japan, and Italy. Second, BRICS acronym will help you remember. Then IST, Islam majority countries, you can remember as Islamist, IST. So Indonesia, Saudi, Turkey. Then American countries, one in North Mexico and second one in South Argentina. Then allies of America, South Korea and Australia. Then 2 regional blocs, European Union and African Union. So these are the members plus 2 regional blocs. Now coming to India's G20 presidency, we know theme was Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam and digital public infrastructure was one of the core priorities. Rest of the priorities you can read, not much important for future prelims exams. And you can note that most of them are very generalist. Green development, climate, finance, women-led development, inclusive, resilient growth. See, that is why in that question, one-off has to be interpreted in a very broad manner. Anyway, key outcomes, India's presidency launched Global Digital Public Infrastructure Repository. In African Union was added, then Global Biofuel Alliance was also created. Now, for prelims exams, this is important. You know, before Indonesia was the host. Now, in 2024, Brazil was the host in Rio. And the theme, building a just world and a sustainable planet. The first letter is B, okay? So it will be easy to remember. Brazil also B. 2025, South Africa. So first letter of theme is S, solidarity, equality and sustainability. And city was Johannesburg. In 2026, US will be hosting and first time after 2008. Now, just a bit of details about the recent summits. In 2024, Brazil, Durable Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty was created. Commitments on basic needs and equity was adopted. Then Global Coalition for Local and Regional Production was created. And Global Mobilization Against Climate Change was also adopted. See, this is mainly for mobilizing finance or climate financing. Okay, so this is climate change is one core mandate of G20. Then South Africa was the first African nation to host G20. Can come as a statement. Okay, and just to spotlight Africa's development, multilateralism, and youth empowerment. Now, digital public infrastructure, because it was asked in option, you have to study. So these are basically core digital systems built by government to provide essential services to citizens. So basically, these are public goods, other public goods created by government like road or waterways. But this public good, it is in digital realm. In digital ecosystem, government is creating a digital public good, that is digital public infrastructure. So its core pillars, first one, digital identity, providing unique ID for every citizen, you know, Aadhaar. Then digital payments for real-time financial transaction, example UPI. Then for data exchange, for sharing of data with the consent, example DigiLocker. So its key features include interoperability, so it can work across platforms and institutions. This is possible because the digital public infrastructures created by government use open APIs, open application programming interfaces. So these are basically intermediaries which connect two softwares. On one side, take DigiLocker. Another side, take a school or college program. School software. Okay. So the school can fetch certificates from the DigiLocker. For example, birth certificate from the DigiLocker. School can also upload matriculation or 12th level certificate to the DigiLocker. So this open API allow communication between these two softwares, between third party and the government created DigiLocker. This Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, they are not completely open source software, but the use of open APIs allow communication with third party softwares. So that is why it is interoperable and work across platforms and institutions. Now they are scalable also. I can support billions of users. So thanks for watching. If this helped you, please give it a like and subscribe for more UPSC insights.